Darko the supreme villain. Oh, the man and the holy. Of the demon spirit. That guy who really torture your favorite fictional character. A nightmare that comes true. This is Darko the supreme villain. When I was young, I was a nice child until suddenly my father used to treat me horribly and started doing some weird, bizarre things. There's a rumor that he probably works at the military, so that's where I get some weird torture method by my own father. When I was like 7 years old, I was like handcuffed on my hands around my father's bed, and he was spanking me with a belt, like it's some kind of weird torture method that I'm embracing because what I did, even though I forgot what my troubles are, and when I was like 8 years old, I accidentally dropped the shelves next to my sister. This is where my sister almost died. And this is where our parents get separated. I started living in my own father's when I was like 10 years old. He treated me even worse. My mother wasn't here because there was a divorce. Until suddenly, I have seen so many cartoon movies that looks similar. I saw a cartoon frog chained to the pipe and really stuck, crying agony. I started to feel like, wow, this is really hot. And so I started experiencing more fictional characters being chained each other to other chains of intimacy. That's where I get the chain fetish. I started drawing some weird cartoon comics about characters being chained and being chained in every different ways. That's where my demon's about to come. Now, I was 15 years old. I have a fantasy that I want to chain a woman while torturing her, just like I got tortured like my father, until suddenly the cops come and now I ended up seeking therapy. This is where I lost my interest towards real women and decided to go on fictional characters. I no longer have the love on a real woman, and I'm better off having romantic interest to fictional characters in chains. This is where I made horrible characters being chained in different ways. Like Mario being chained to the pipe. This is where I feel some deep obsession of him suffering, was starving him in chains on his ankle, like he was stuck, like a Saw Trap movie. And when I was like 16 years old, I was watching a Saw movie. It was one of the sexiest movies I've ever seen. It's because those two men were suffering agony while chained on their foot. This is where I ended up having a foot chain fetish and an ankle fetish. Yes, that's right. This is where I have the weird fetish I had. Their fettered fetish, a restriction of their ankle, makes me feel like I don't feel like they're not coming next to me anymore. And also feel like my father has more power than I am, making me better than my own stupid father. Yes, that's right. So therefore, once I chain your foot, you will embrace my father's nightmares. Yes, I'm talking to you, you little fictional characters. Prepare to be chained. Prepare to be suffering in agony. Now, let me describe what I do to my fictional characters. Once there's chains on their ankles, I started dragging the chain, and it makes me feel so good, so satisfying. It's really satisfying to look at that chain being attached to this guy's ankle, or any critters, some kind. And when the agony started, I started moving the chain back and forth, suffering him so much, and it makes me feel so good. It turns me on, and for 4 minutes, I started torturing him. Well, the chain noise starts making noise every time I torture him. And it makes me feel better and crazier. That's what it feels like. Damn, that's the best torturing method I ever did to this little fictional characters and those critters. Really have a deep fetish on that. It could be any fictional characters based on how cute they are. Or it can be a critter, a little animal, a fictional animal, or a thing that doesn't exist. Yeah, that's my pleasure of chaining these innocent creatures. So there you go. You hear my secret. You hear my story. And this is the story of me. Yes, I'm Darko, the powerful.